Hi everyone, welcome back to A Sky Full of Stars, Saya's Route, Episode 3. So we see that Akito has put Saya down on her bed, but the big problem is that Akito doesn't really feel like they're doing anything special despite being a couple. So all the things that they've been doing, Akito feels that it's routine, friends, something that they've been doing for a long time, and he wants to find something to bring it up from there. And I think it was Hikari who gave Akito the suggestion that, well, why don't you try to make Saya embarrassed and blush? And Akito did so with the lint roller. So when Saya got pet hair all over herself again because of Kotaro, Akito used the lint roller on her butt, and he made a mistake, and it got Saya all embarrassed. And now Saya has Akito come over to her place, and previously Akito's head was on Saya's lap with Saya petting him, and now it's led to this. So I wonder if this is going to allow Akito to feel that they've moved up more than just being friends. Okay. So Saya thought for a second and then turns bright red. Well, if you think of something, then tell me. Wait, too soon? So you mean like marriage or something? So what are you thinking of then? So Saya looks a bit distraught and her eyes started to water a little. So Saya pulls up or me close again and kisses me to change the subject. And for some reason, Saya looks a little upset. Well, Saya, don't tell me, So what? So we're thinking of something indecent? So Saya went rigid at my question. Yeah, it's something about 100 times more than what we're doing now. So Saya looks away, and I leaned down and whispered softly into her exposed ear. Well, but thinking about that, does that get your heart racing? So that still didn't tell me if she's been imagining something or not. So what would you rate your level now then? So from a scale of 1 to 10. Okay, 100. She said it on a scale of 10. There you go. And she was way off the charts now. Well, I guess I just set her a new high record. Sai puffs her cheeks out indignantly. And it just made her look even cuter than before. Okay, so let's just keep kissing then. So why is that? Well, so one more? Well, too bad. Good night. Sai ignores me by pretending to be asleep. Wait, Saya? And it appears that she is serious about stopping. So this could probably she could probably get mad at me. So if I forced another kiss on her, so I decided not to do it. And I guess it would be a waste to experience all our firsts in one day. And she had definitely been imagining something a minute ago, so I continued pretending to be asleep, but her reddening face gave her away. So I wonder how much time has passed since then. Or it's that Akito fell asleep himself. Saya? So at some point, I had apparently fallen asleep as I lay there holding Saya. And when I came to, Saya was stroking my hair. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess Saya was just too comfortable. But that's good. Saya's playing with something in her other hand as she spoke. So what's that? She apparently felt embarrassed about it. As soon as I said something, she closed her hand around it in an attempt to hide it. I've never seen her with anything like this before, though. So I wonder if this charm is pleasant. So it sounded really important to her. And Saya stroking my hair felt really nice, and I let myself sink into the feeling. Well, I guess we're definitely boyfriend and girlfriend now. So it felt a little embarrassing, but the warm, fuzzy feeling I got is more powerful. So I puckered out my lips, pestering Saya for another kiss, and she just shook her head slightly. Saya? So Saya smirks and lets out a chuckle. Okay, here you go. She leans down and kisses me. And her long hair feels good in my face. And what do you expect to get the next delivery? Or when do you expect? Wait, what? So the look on my face made it seem like the world was about to end, but Sai just grinned at me, or grinned. Sai's bashful smile is the moment was enough to last me until then. Okay, so if I remember correctly from the Japanese version, there's actually a small age scene that happens during the time when Akito has Saya pinned down to your bed in an attempt to get Saya's heart racing. And the reason I say it's partial is because it doesn't go all the way through, and that's why Akito was kind of upset. But anyways, putting that aside, let's see what happens here. So Saya calls my name, but then fell silent, glancing around awkwardly. So it looks like she was searching for the right words to say. She had to say something, but didn't know exactly what. Her silence is filled with a sense of urgency. So he said thank you. He told me that if I hadn't been there, nobody would have taken care of him, and he might have died, and he thanks me. My voice begins to shake as I spoke. And before I could start to cry, though, I stopped speaking. So something had begun to run down my chest. So I could not do anything but look at me in silence. Well, I felt something warm touch my hand. So I had no words to respond, so she wrapped her slender hands around mine instead. And it was only a light touch, but it felt like the warmth from her fingers expanded to fill the empty coldness inside my chest. And wrapped in someone else's warmth, I began to silently cry. Okay, so he's back in his own room. So, still only half conscious from waking up, I reached a hand to wipe away my tears. But my eyes are dry. Well, it was just a dream. I had been having one of those old dreams, it seems. I ignored my alarm and just lay there staring blankly up at the ceiling. Well, I don't think I've cried in front of anybody since then. So still lying on my bed, I reached up to grab my phone and turn off the alarm. So I slowly pulled myself out of bed and folded up my futon. Well, it's cold. And the winter air made me suddenly wish for a warmer days. Okay, so we're going to see the progress on Project Starlight. So it was after school, and the Six Stars Club had gathered to hand out flyers in front of Meiko Academy. So the flyers were to explain the upcoming Project Starlight. The information about the Geminid meteor shower that will be appearing on December 14th with an appeal to turn off all household lights that night. Okay, so it wasn't often that students heading home saw people handing out flyers at school, so many of them were taking one out of curiosity. So I wonder why Honoka's not happy. So we need to look more exciting or excited about this, and that's not giving people confidence. So Korona grabbed Honoka's arm and pulled her into the thick of all students now on their way home. So I think Honoka's embarrassed at meeting the other people or being in a huge crowd. Well, of course, we had a reason for choosing to hand out flyers here because there are a lot of people. And it would be easier to recruit help from our own age. Also, we were trying to get other students interested in the astronomy club at the same time. And we were still planning to hold or hand out flyers in front of the station and in the shopping district, but we decided to go around our schools first.
Project Starlight です。よろしくお願いします。何？Project Starlight って。 お、興味津々って顔ですね、お姉さん。
ええ、まあ、あなたそれ尼子の制服？そっちは聖戦女子よね。
我々は六つら星の会と言いまして、何を隠そう、星の中市で現在絶賛暗躍中の謎の秘密結社のようなもので。違います、ただのサークル活動です。
It's like, well, Hikari, you shouldn't be talking about our club with embellished details. We're just an ordinary club. It's nothing mystical or extravagant.
詳しくはそこに書いてあるホームページをどうぞ。すっごく凝ってるおしゃれなページで綺麗な天体写真も見られますよ。
ええ、わかったわ。
よろしくお願いします。いやー、ホームページの出来がいいと宣伝にも力が入るね。
But you know, I'm very excited about the homepage, so it makes me want to talk about it in a very interesting and exciting way.
ハードル上げすぎだよ。
But I was the one who created it, and the way that you promote it makes me embarrassed. Saya's beginning to turn red at Hikari's comments.
いいじゃん。おしゃれだし、さやらしい可愛いサイトだったよ。
And it has Saya's fingerprints all over it, so it's cute. Hikari had left Project Starlight homepage open on her phone. She shows it to Saya again, despite the fact that she is the one who designed it. Well, it was true, so the site is finally finished. Which meant we had taken Project Starlight to the next stage of spreading the word by passing out flyers. So Saya had done most of the work on the website. There you go. And Hikari's right. So it did look nice.
さやには芸術のセンスもあるね。きっといい先生になれるよ。もうやめてったら。
Saya looks thoroughly embarrassed as she turns even redder than before. She looks like someone whose parents were bragging a little too much about their child.
いや、ほうき星さんの言う通りっすよ。俺もがぜんやる気出てきましたっすもん。
写真も綺麗に使ってもらえて、うちの先輩も喜んでましたよ。
そうですか。それならよかったです。
Saya is continuing to blush and shy away, so Hikari wraps an arm through hers.
もう奥ゆかしいの、さやたんは。
Oh, come on, Saya-tan. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. Saya looks cute when she is acting like this. And I want to brag more about the fact that she's my girlfriend.
時間も遅くなって下校していく生徒の数も減ってきました。そろそろ場所を移しましょうか。
So we had planned to head to the local shopping district to catch the large crowds of people in the evening.
ビラの数が足りなくないっすか？
かなりもらってくれたもんね。じゃ、コロナ吸ってくれよ。私も行く。
So Karuna and the other first years jogged off towards the club room.
では、コロナさんたちを待つ間、少し休憩にしましょうか。
So hearing this, some of Saya's tensions seemed to slip away. She was almost as shy around people as Honoka. So should we wait in the cafeteria then? Okay. The cafeteria at Meiko is something else. So of course, they were not serving any food after school, but there's a long line of vending machines full of drinks. Well, I don't think that makes it any special if you have so many vending machines. So are you coming, Hikari?
私は残りのビラも配ってくよ。それに、お熱いお二人さんのお邪魔もできないしね。変な言い方しないで。
Saya puffs out her cheeks out in annoyance as she turns and heads off towards the cafeteria. Hikari chuckles smugly at her reaction. Well, all I could do is sigh at the situation as I took off after Saya. Okay, so inside the Mako Academy, so Saya.
あっくん
So you look a little tired.
うんでも平気だよちょっと休めばすぐ元気になると思う
Well, I should be okay. So I didn't have a lot of physical stamina to begin with, and we've been on our feet for some time now, handing out flyers. So I grabbed her hand. Well, your hands are cold.
ビラ配りしてたから
So still holding her hand, I slipped into my pocket.
あったかい
It's warm here. So it was a bit embarrassing, but nobody is around to see, so it should be alright. And we kept walking, and I started squeezing Saya's hand inside my pocket. Saya begins squeezing my hand back, and soon we were stroking each other's fingers. And we continued playing with each other's hands as we walked down the deserted hallway when Saya suddenly looks down in shame. And once again her face is red. So what's wrong now?
なんだかポッケの中でコソコソキスしてるみたい
She was blushing and looked really embarrassed, but looking closer I noticed she had a strange little smirk on her face. But this is good. So my silence must have made Saya uncomfortable because she glanced up at me with an anxious look on her face. So Hikari called me a closet pervert one time, and ever since I've been a little self-conscious about this. So I never thought that you would be worse than me. Wait, so you're one too? Or Saya's one too? So comparing to what we're doing with our hands to kissing is a little H, so don't you think? Well, I think I'll call you the closet monster.
いらないよそんな称
No, don't call me that. Oh, don't be silly, closet monster.
号いらないもんっていうか違うもんモンスターじゃないもん
So I tried to pull her hand out of my pocket, but I just smiled and grabbed on tighter so she could not get away. Well, if you're gonna call me that, then I'm not gonna do this. Oh, don't be shy. We're not done kissing in my pocket yet.
もうあっくんのバカ
And we continued on towards the cafeteria. I kept stealing glances at Saya as she tries to hide her face.
それでは今日はここまでといたしましょう皆さんお疲れ様でした
お疲れ様でした。
お疲れっした
それじゃあ私も帰るね
Okay,
まだ時間あるし遊んでこうよ
so what can they do?
ごめんねひかり今日は家の手伝いがあるからチェあっくん後でメッセージ送るね
Okay. So Saya went on ahead by herself.
明日は西高でビラ配りしてその次は諸見沢星野第一に行って最後はうちと
Okay. So Hikari is sitting at the counter in the shop looking over our schedule. So what other schools can we hand out these flyers?
あうん
So she was snacking on a pork bun.
聖戦女子も行きたかったな
Well, we knew we probably were not going to be able to hand out flyers there. So not only it being all girls, but it had a history of being extremely strict. and there's no way that they are going to allow students from other schools to hand out flyers, especially when one of the members is a boy. So this is strictly all girls.
でもさ、いい手応えだったよね。みんなうちらの活動に興味持ってくれてたみたい。
Well, it is good timing. They just did a special on the Gemini meteor shower on TV yesterday as well. So stuff like that always gets people interested, even if it's only a temporary interest. Well, even the number of hits on the website has gotten a little boost.
そっか、テレビ番組の放送日をチェックしといて、その次の日は気合い入れてビラ配りやった方がいいってことだね。
So Hikari didn't waste any time. She pulls out her phone and starts searching.
さやとはうまくいってるみたいだね。
So how's it between you and Saya? Hikari is stuffing her face with a pork bun with one hand while searching on her phone with the other. It's going okay. I felt pretty good, proud in that moment.
また私のおかげだったか。
So I get credit, right?
ま、さやはアキトにぞっこんだしね。アキトが浮気とかしなきゃ安泰だね。
Well, I would never do something like that.
したらぶっ飛ばす。
So she opens her mouth wide and chomps down again on her pork bun as if to show me what happens to those who cheat.
でもさ、アキトとさやって私が引っ越してった後ずっと疎遠だったんでしょ？
No, we weren't.
それがなんで通い妻してたわけ？
Well, once we started talking again like we used to, I suppose she started coming around more often. Hikari studied me for a moment as she took another bite out of her pork bun. Well, I guess we did have a little push, but it wasn't like anything major happened.
そうなんだ。
So why are you so interested?
別に。
Well, I think the title commuter wife is kind of interesting. So the doors open and a customer walks in. Oh, hello, welcome.
こんばんは。
さやのママ。
あら、ひかりちゃんもいたの。
So the customer who walked in is Saya's mother. Why don't you usually see here this late at night?
お醤油を切らしてたの。忘れてたのよ。
Oh, soy sauce. Okay, just wait a moment. I walked over and grabbed a bottle. So do you want light soy sauce or dark soy sauce?
薄口で。こんな時間でもお醤油が買えるなんて、三日月村も便利になったわね。
She seems impressed. So Mikazuki Village didn't really exist anymore, but those who had been around the area for a long time still thought of it as such. Okay, here you go.
ありがとう。ところで、さやは来てないの？
Wait, Saya? So I thought she went home.
あの子なら今日は先に帰っちゃいましたよ。
There you go. Well, that was some time ago.
そうなの。
So something wrong?
少し前に出て行ったから、アキト君たちと一緒なんだと思って。
Saya's mom handed me some money as I gave her back some change.
時々この時間に家を出て行くから、早乙女さんに言ってるんだろうって思ってたんだけれど。
Well, she does come here a lot. It wasn't every day though.
それじゃあね、アキト君、ひかりちゃん、また遊びに来てね。
はーい。おやすみなさい、さやママ。
The Saya's mother grabs her bag and heads home.
綺麗だよね、さやのママ。
Yeah. Well, she is tall and slender and didn't look anywhere near her actual age.
さやも大人になったらママみたいになるんだって思ってたよね。
So Hikari had a sort of evil grin on her face as she says this. She did look a lot like her mom, but she's always been cute too. People used to talk about how Saya would grow up to be tall and beautiful like her mother. It didn't look like she was going to be that tall, though. But I think the fact that she's a little short is cute.
まあね、そこがいいんですが、さやたんは。
And despite her height, you could not argue that Saya is beautiful.
でも、さやどこ行ったんだろう、こんな時間に。
But I wonder why Saya would be out, and where is she? Well, you got me. The only place I could think of was that we opened this late, and Mikazuki is the stop-in by convenience store and a DVD rental shop on the way to school. So speaking of, you should go home pretty soon too. So don't you have a curfew?
帰りたくない。
I don't want to go. So Hikari is getting really into our project and apparently didn't like just sitting around at home anymore. Well, if you keep breaking curfew, you're going to end up being grounded. So that would just make things worse. And plus, you're the project leader after all.
わかったわよ。
I know, but it's still boring being at home. Hikari reluctantly begins getting ready to head home.
わあ、今日は星がよく見えるね。
So he stepped outside to see the clear sky filled with twinkling stars. Well, I sure hope the weather is this nice on the day of the meteor shower too. The weather, let's see, was the one thing that we could not control.
どうしたの、小太郎。
So, why is Qatar barking?
光。
Okay, so Saya is here. Saya suddenly appears under the dim glow from the nearby streetlight.
さや。
Hikari runs over to Saya, glad to see her. So Kotaro got excited as well and tried to join Hikari at Saya's side, but his leash is not long enough.
どこ行ってたの？
So where have you been?
お散歩。
So Saya had a big tote bag hanging from her shoulder. And it seemed a little like she did not want us to see what is inside. So your mom just stopped by the store not too long ago.
え、お母さんが。
Wait, Mom? She said that you were out of soy sauce.
そう。光は今帰るところ？うん、そう。アキトに追い出されたの。
Well, Akito didn't really kick Hikari out. It's like, well, you should be home. You don't want your parents to be upset that you're out late very often. Well, stop making me sound so mean.
そうだよ、光。門限あるんでしょ？
Well, that makes sense. And you have a curfew too, right? Sai knew Hikari too well and saw right through her.
はーい。
I know. Well, your train is going to be here soon.
わかってるよ。それじゃあね、二人とも。
Okay, see you tomorrow.
おやすみ、光。
So Hikari begrudgingly made her way to the ticket gates. She sure can be a handful sometimes.
そこが可愛いんだけどね。
So where are you walking at this hour?
星のダムのあたりかな。
So why there? Her answer seems a little evasive. I'm more interested in the contents of her bag, but it looked like she did not want to say, so I just didn't ask. Well, you shouldn't be walking around alone this late at night, and it's dangerous.
そうだね。ごめん。
So would you like to stop by the store then?
お母さんが心配してるかもしれないから、もう帰る。
Well, I'll just go home. Okay, So I reached out and grabbed Saya's hand.
そんな風にされちゃ帰れないよ。
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I didn't let go.
あっくんもちょっと甘えん坊さんだね。そういうとこかわいい。
Well, don't call a man cute. Her comments embarrassed me one bit, so my tone is a little rough.
ねえ、それじゃあ後でうち来る？
So Saya is a little bit hesitant as she asked.
お母さん、これからおばあちゃんとこ行くから。
Saya? So, Miss Closet Mons...
やっぱり来なくていいです。
Well, if you're gonna say that, then don't come. Oh, no. I'm joking. Well, I want to go. So that way we can have some alone time and be able to do stuff. So I didn't look like she appreciated my phrasing, but she nodded in agreement. Okay, so no closet monster jokes. And we couldn't exactly kiss out in the open like this, so we settled for stroking each other's head instead. So Saya is apparently thinking about stuff again because she's red. Well, we're just holding hands, you know, and we're not really kissing with them.
分かってるもん。もう、悪のバカ。
Well, don't tease me. So Sai lets go of my hand and gives a little slap before half running away from me. She turns around and sticks out her tongue and then runs off in the direction of her house. Oh, be careful, okay? I saw her give me one last big wave in the dim streetlight before she disappears into the night.
Akito, トランプして遊ぼうよ。
Okay, so now that the store is closed, it looks like Miharu teacher wants to play some games with Akito. Miharu sensei comes into my room with some cards.
何やってんの？
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going out.
こんな時間から？
Wait, now? So, the hands on the clock point to 11 p.m. So they started praying tonight. So I thought I'd go look at them alone. She stares hard at me. So as she figured me out,
あんたも変わったね。
it's so unnatural for you to go, or it's strange of you to go out at this hour just for stars. Huh?
前は星を見ない天文部員なんて呼ばれてたのに。
Especially when you were this person a few months ago. Well, that's true. Well, I think it's at least a year now. Oh, so that's what it was.
星を見るってんなら邪魔はできないね。しゃあない。一人で七並べでもするか。
Well, I guess. So I watched Miharu Sensei return to her room. She had an understanding look on her face, which made my chest hurt. Well, I'm sorry, Miharu Sensei or Miharu-san. Everyone tells a little white lie sometimes. I apologize fiercely in my mind. I feel bad, but today was non-negotiable. So, the way that Saya had asked me.
ねえ、それじゃあ後でうち来る？お母さん、これからおばあちゃんとこ行くから。
So Sai really wants Akito to come to her place. Well, I mean, this must be it. And the next step after kissing. My next first time would be tonight. and this is no time to play cards with Miharu-san. So I gave myself a quick check in the mirror and then left my room. Okay, so he goes to Saya's place. I'm here!
いらっしゃい。
So I had arrived at Saya's place, and Saya is talking quietly, I guess because it was nighttime, and apart from that, she just greeted me like always. But I could faintly smell shampoo in her hair. So I'd also taken a bath just in case.
そこに座って。
Thanks.
何か飲む？紅茶入れよっか。
So Sai boils some water and then put on some tea.
ご飯はもう食べた？よかったら夕飯の残りが少しあるけど。
So Saya's slippers clapped as she moved around the kitchen. So was she hiding nervousness? She seems restless. And why is she in the kitchen? I thought she'd take me straight to her room.
お菓子何かあったかな？クッキーが確かこっちの棚に。
Well, I think it's more like Saya wants to treat Akito to some refreshments first. Saya? So surprised by my hug from behind, Saya covers her mouth for some reason. Oh, so more than food or tea, I just want to be with you. So is that why you invited me? But she must have been embarrassed now that the moment is here. And I can understand how she feels. So what's wrong, Saya? I lifted Saya's chin towards me and kisses her. If I gave her a kiss sweeter than cookies, I'm sure that Saya would forget the shyness. And that's what I thought. But just as our lips were about to meet, Saya starts to speak.
お母さんがいるの。
Huh?
上でお母さんが寝てるの。
So my mom is here and she's sleeping upstairs. But you said she was going to her grandma's place.
おばあちゃんが具合悪くて、また今度って。
Okay. So sounding guilty, Saya averts her eyes. Oh, so that's why you're so restless and why you are in the kitchen and not your room.
ごめんね、ハック。
So Saya's sympathetic look makes me suddenly embarrassed at how wrong I was. Well, it's not like I'm expecting something or anything, you know, so I just wanted to be with you, Saya.
ハック。
So why did she have to look at me with such sympathetic eyes? It's like, well, I know you want something more, but things changed and... okay, so we have to be quiet, or should I go home?
お茶、せっかく入れたから。
So Saya wants Akio to stay. Saya serves me the tea and cookies. I eat shakily in a chair and drink the tea. So neither of us spoke. We didn't know what the mother would wake up or when, so we could not do anything else.
トランプでもする？
So given the situation, I didn't really have much choice. Well, I'm sure Akito would love playing cards with Saya better than Miharu. And I'm sure for Miharu's like, well, we're just roommates, boring. Whereas Saya's like, well, I'm playing with my girlfriend. It's special. Well, it's because you're dressed like this. So after we played cards and drink tea, Saya came with me as I hurriedly left.
今日はごめんね。
Well, it's fine. It's not your fault, Saya. Well, I just wish you would text me about the change.
そしたらあっくん来てくれないと思ったから。
Saya mumbles.
トランプくらいしかすることなくてもあっくんと会いたかったんだもん。
But she is cute. And when she said something like this, it changed the memory of playing cards with her into a fun one. Well, I guess it's kind of exciting playing cards while your mom is sleeping.
そうだね。私もドキドキしてた。
So doing something behind our parents' back, we felt like partners in crime. Well, I don't mind this side of Saya. Well, that's enough for now, so you can go home. So if she came out any further than me, I'll have to walk Saya back home. So I stopped pushing my bicycle and Saya stopped next to me. So Saya touches my hand like she didn't want to part yet. And I pulled her in my hand and kissed her lightly. So, don't you think playing cards is a little unsatisfying? So they both held hands and grinned sheepishly.
これでいいんだよね。
So what is? So Sai shook her head to dodge the question.
最近あっくん張り切ってるね。
Well, you mean Project Starlight?
前は星を見ない天文部員なんて呼ばれてたのに。
So more importantly, how you graduated from being the astronomer who never looks at the stars. Well, Miharu Sensei had said the same thing before I left. And I didn't think I changed much, but everyone else seemed to think that I did.
どうかした？
Nothing. Well, I was just thinking about someone playing solitaire alone at home alone. So, the teacher.
一人で七並べ。そんなことして楽しいの？
I'm sure it's going to be boring for Miharu Sensei afterwards. Well, probably not. And I promised myself I'd play with her next time. Well, yeah, well, compared to before we started talking again, I guess I have changed a lot. So Sai closes her eyes and smiles, and maybe she is remembering that time. And I was like a typical, angsty teen. I refused to even look at the stars, and I can't believe it now.
今はもう星を見てて不安になったりしない？
No, it doesn't.
よかった。
Okay, that's good. So Sai seems truly relieved.
きっと光が帰ってきてくれたからだね。
So is it because of Hikari? Maybe. Well, it just feels right with the three of us.
そうだよ。あっくんは星を見てないとだよ。
So look up. So you can see so many stars today. And it was late at night, and the bright winter stars had risen in the sky.
綺麗だね。
Yeah, so the winter stars really are the best. and bright stars were scattered across the clear winter sky. It reminds me of our childhood. And back then, the three of us had looked up at the skies like this and had enjoyed our trips across the Milky Way. So, we have to make Project Starlight a success.
させよ
So, Sai, let's go by hand.
それじゃあ帰るね
Okay, so I'm going home then. Okay, right. So, if it's late and you should go to sleep.
あっくんもね朝早いんだから
Yep, so see you.
おやすみなさい
So I returned Saya's small wave and turned homeward. So I think there was another H scene that happens during the time when Akito went to Saya's place. And MoeNovel did a good job covering it up by saying, well, it turned out there was a change of plans and the mother didn't go to the grandmother's place. And she stayed home and slept. And Akito spent all his time in the kitchen with Saya serving him refreshments. But I think in the Japanese version, if I remember correctly, he does get to go to Saya's room. And pretty much all the good stuff takes from there. And in short, Akito is able to accomplish another first for Saya. So anyways, going forward. So in 2001, a rain of meteors had fallen from the sky. And they had rained down at a rate of 1,000 per hour. And at the peak, as many as 4,000 meteors had streaked through the sky in a single hour. And it had been the Leonoi meteor shower of 2001. And it must have been like something from a dream. Well, normally, even one's falling star would be seen as something special. And on the night, the Leonoids had just continued streaking through the night sky. And they had continued all night until dawn came. The chance to see something like that was once in a lifetime thing. Or it wouldn't be strange to live your whole life and not see something like this. And from the view of the celestial bodies, human life was nothing but an instant. So the scale of time is just too different. So it's like, well, scale of time happens for thousands of years, centuries, millenniums, versus the human life, which is, well, 70, 80 years. And with that, the upcoming Geminids were forecasted to have more than twice the normal number of meteors. And we were yet to see if they would live up to the Leonoids of 2001, but either way, it was set to be an incredible meteor shower. And now we are going to spend that night. I have wanted to spend that night not letting even a single meteor escape. So we had started making a plan. We were putting all our efforts into our plan to light up the night. So we had gathered at Harbor Town. Okay, so this is a good place to stop for this episode. And we're going to see in the next episode what they're going to do here. And I think they're going to hand out flyers here and get people to hopefully participate in Project Starlight. So the plan is to turn off as many lights as possible to allow the sky to be seen, so the perfect black. And if you remember from Divergence Route A, Hikari complained that, well, it's hard to see the stars because the city has grown in size, and the more lights is covering the black sky, making it hard to see anything or many things in the sky. And if the city continues to grow with more lights, then there's going to be very little chance for astronomy to continue. And on the relationship side, it seems that Sai and Akito are going pretty well, and Sai is being more open, and at least Akito is able to accomplish more than being just friends with Saya. So they're doing more activities, being a closer couple than the past when they were just friends or acquaintances. But anyways, with that in mind, I'll see you later.